Emma Court asks, how do we balance theory and practice in enterprise architecture? What's the use of theory in enterprise architecture? For that matter, what is theory in enterprise architecture? Well, one of the things I think I need to emphasise is that theory in enterprise architecture is a rather different beast from what you might think of as, quote, scientific theory. It's not about repeatability, or rather, we need to understand what is repeatable and what is not. We can perhaps use the SCAN framework for this, where the simple or the complicated is about theory, simple is what we can do in real world practice, but that's all over on the side of high repeatability. At the same time, there are many parts of our work that are not repeatable, that are what we describe as VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous. These are real parts of the work, and we need to have theory that straddles comfortably across that space. What we think of as a tame problem is one that when we solve it, it stays solved. But there are many parts of our work that are also what we might call wild problems, where when we repeat them, they're not the same. That as we do them, as we go through, or if we put them into different conditions, the result comes out differently. If we put it into a different context, it's different. This is one of the problems that we have with best practice, for example. Best practice is the best thing that worked for someone else in their context. But it doesn't necessarily work the same way with us. We need to understand the difference and be very clear what is repeatable and what is not. That when we work with wild problems, we're looking for the factors that stay the same rather than the content that stays the same. Don't mix them up, it doesn't work. Likewise, things like inherent uniqueness. If our company has something special or unique, its secret sauce, then that's not going to copy well. In fact, we don't want it to copy well into someone else's environment. It's our niche. If we copy it across and publish all of that, we've lost our market, we've lost our niche, we've lost the uniqueness of our business model. So there are parts of our work that are not so much like science, but are actually more like alchemy, where we're working with the uniqueness rather than the sameness. And a theory of enterprise architecture needs to cover all of that space, not just the easy repeatable bits. What we need particularly is what's known as pragma, where theory informs practice, but practice in turn reinforms theory. So what we need is just enough theory to support the practice. That's where theory fits. Is very similar to how we worked with just enough certainty, just enough process, just enough method. Here it's just enough theory to support the practice that we need.